Hi everybody, welcome to episode 12 of the Joel Homie Show series, Artistic Tuesday. Hey, you there! I want to remind everybody that if you end up liking this video, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. And right now, YouTube says that over 90% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so it would really help, and with that... Hello everybody, I'm Joel Homie, your guys' host for another great episode of the Joel Homie Show series, Artistic Tuesday, episode 12. Now, today's episode is going to be serving quite a special purpose on my new channel called Joel Homie Arts, or Joel Homie Animation. I don't actually have the channel up yet, so if you're watching this video shortly after it comes out, there might actually not be any link in the description or anything like that to this new channel, but, well, for lack of a better word, I'm making a new channel that is going to be both based around digital animation and traditional art and just art in general. Because of recent dates, I've been feeling quite a fascination for actually drawing on my own time and actually finding joy in doing it. Rather, before, I typically only drew when I actually had to make an Artistic Tuesday episode. I still did it when I felt like drawing and I still had fun with doing it, but I've actually been drawing quite a bit more often now, and I've been watching a lot of digital animation artists and storytime animators on YouTube of recent dates, and it's really been inspiring me to get into something like that. So I'm going to be creating a new channel, so obviously if you're watching this video shortly after it comes out, there might not be a link or anything yet, but eventually when I actually do create the channel, there will be an alternate video on that channel that will be basically this same video, but obviously with a different intro and outro that I will actually record separately from this video that obviously will be meant for that channel, and also sort of an intro to that channel. But after this video, I might not actually talk about that channel too much, and there is a very, very small possibility that in the upcoming future, not anytime soon hopefully, but Artistic Tuesday might be discontinued due to this channel actually coming up. Anyway, with that being said, today's video is going to be based around me actually drawing my top 5 favorite YouTubers, at least ones that are generally into the art and animation community. So today I will be drawing Chipflake, Jane Animations, Young Tales, The Odd Ones Out, and Illymation. So those are the 5 that I will be drawing today. So with that being said, enough of me talking, let's go ahead and get started and see how these guys turn out in the end. Right then, so here we are with 5 of my favorite storytime animators here on YouTube, actually down on paper here in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the usual, or at least the usual that I do on these episodes after I draw everything out. I'm going to briefly talk about every one of these and the small memories I have of actually the process of drawing them. Not that it was that long ago, so it kind of sounds weird me saying memories. But either way, let's go ahead and start with the first one that I drew, and it's kind of obvious due to his immense size compared to the rest of these guys. This is Chipflake, so obviously there will be links to all of these guys' channels in the description, because obviously, you know, I have to give credit and stuff like that, and this one turned out quite nice. As you can see, his face actually ended up being quite, well, not white, I guess. that sort of sounds a bit odd, but what I'm trying to get out there is actually that I ended up actually getting a bit of smudgage and stuff in my hand actually down onto the paper just from the process of drawing these guys. And I actually, the reference photo that I was using actually had a bit of shading and a bit of a tone on his face anyway, so I ended up using a bit of a hatching and just sort of a smudging with my fingers to actually get a bit of that to sort of hide that imperfection. And in the end, I think it turned out pretty well. We have the brown hands and the red handkerchief and some of the blue to sort of show shadows and stuff like that. And this is sort of like a weird comment, but I think he looks a little bit too mature, because if you look at the actual character, the Chip Flake, or at least the Chip character, he's very immature, sort of funny and playful looking, and this piece to me, through my eyes, looks very mature and sort of mean in a way. The reference photo is supposed to be sort of like a playful sort of like, yeah, I'm Chip Flake sort of mood. It was like a cool get up sort of mood that was being expressed through the reference photo that I was looking at, and it actually turned out looking like he was actually mad. But either way, the next one is the Jane Animations one. This one, obviously, like the rest, is another animator, Storytime animator that I really do like watching. But sadly, I didn't actually have a light tone of purple to actually use for her shirt, so I ended up actually using a couple different shades of blue, and I believe it's sort of like a pink that I used for her shirt. Ended up actually using a couple different base colors to actually peek through the darker shades of blue, and I ended up getting a purple, luckily. And then obviously the legs were supposed to be gray, but ended up being a little bit sort of like half white and half gray because of how small she ended up being on the paper. And if I would have done any more, I probably would have got a bunch of smudges around her legs rather than actually on her legs. But either way, the brown hair. And then the next one here is The Odd Ones Out. This guy is another one that I really do like watching, obviously. And I tried to actually include a bit of the background, sort of general color palette for his actual profile picture on his YouTube channel, rather than actually just doing the character. Like Chip Flake and the Jane Animations character that I drew out, you can't actually find these exact pictures anywhere. I actually used a couple different reference photos to find the different things for both of these guys, but this guy actually ended up using something that I drew in a past episode, which is when I drew myself in the Odd Ones Out style. And this photo that I found on the internet as a reference photo for this, I couldn't find, so I had to use this as a reference photo for that. But anyway, I felt like there wasn't enough color in, obviously, the Odd Ones Out sort of just general white bubble character, so I put him in his little red shorts that he has on in his profile picture, and used the general color palette for the background with a little bit of grass and water. Kind of, just sort of noticed this, but I sort of made it look like he's standing on water. Either way, the next one is Illymation. This is another one that I like watching, and sadly I did end up getting a quite noticeable imperfection. If you've ever watched Illymation, or if you've ever even just seen her character and memorized it at all, you can probably see that her hair is quite off in the color. I ended up actually having to use a Dawn highlighter and actually a couple different colored pencils to get her hair looking even remotely right. And it still turned out kind of weird because this inner sort of area of hair is actually supposed to be darker than the outer layer, but it ended up being the wrong way around. Either way, I still like how it turned out. You can kind of see it for yourself. There's not much else to say there. This is sort of one that I just sped through and didn't really have too much trouble with. The next one here, I'm going to go ahead and look at the camera real quick. You can't see it. I'm making sure you can actually see the whole entire thing. This is the Young Tails one that I drew out, and this is the one of the two characters, the other one being the Odd Ones Out, that I actually included a little bit of the background. So the Young Tails profile picture for his YouTube channel has this exact sort of pose going on. You can't actually see the whole character. It sort of like cuts off this general area, so you can't actually see his legs and the bottom of his sort of torso. And the background is sort of like hexagon and rigid lines and stuff like that, with a bit of a yellow tint to the background, which I can't really say much else. That's basically all I did, is drew the character and put the background there and put a little bit of a more darker shade of yellow to show the shadows, because if you don't know, he is sort of generally based off of a block of tofu that's very loosely based. I don't know if that for sure. It's sort of like a joking matter in the first place. But as far as I know, that's why he's a block. But either way, yeah, so with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching today's video. Me, for a change, I actually really enjoyed today's episode because I've always been quite sensitive about actually drawing out some of these people, or at least some of these characters, because I don't like expressing that I like watching a lot of people, and there's a lot more that I really don't want to draw because I don't really like putting it out there. I feel like the personality that I've built on this channel wouldn't really, really relate to it, I guess is the only way I can put it. But either way, that's why I made the art channel, so that I can actually put more stuff on there. And that's why after this video actually goes up and is published, and if you've made it to this point, thank you for watching through all my rambling. But after this video, I probably won't mention this art channel that I'll be making again. I want these channels to be very separate. And also on that channel, I generally don't want my face to be a big thing, only because I want it to be very strongly based on the art. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's video,